Think about that one show. You know the one. You've seen every episode so many times that you can recite the dialogue before the actors even open their mouths. While the world tells you to watch something new, or calls your habit a sign of a stale mind, they are fundamentally misreading your internal architecture. You aren't just looking for comfort. You possess a rare psychological marker we call Iterative-Predictive Intelligence. This isn't just about being a fan. It is a sign of what psychologists call the mere exposure effect, a phenomenon where we develop a preference for things simply because we are familiar with them. Combined with a high-level need for cognitive load management, you belong to a rare group of deep thinkers who use repetitive storytelling to program your brain for outcome modeling. In a world that is increasingly chaotic, your 50th rewatch is actually a sign of superior neural efficiency. Today we are decoding why your brain refuses to be surprised and how this habit reveals the rarest kind of strength. Welcome to MindUnlockx. As you know, we don't do motivation and we don't do surface-level advice. This is a sanctuary for those who want to understand the hidden mechanics of their own behavior. To understand why your brain is obsessed with the known ending, we have to look back at the evolutionary history of the human mind, to see how your iterative predictive loop once saved our entire species. To understand your rewatching habit, we have to look at how our ancestors survived. Imagine a small tribe huddled around a fire 50,000 years ago. In that environment, new usually meant dangerous. A new path in the woods could lead to a predator's den. A new berry could be poisonous. The unknown was a high-stakes risk that the human brain was designed to fear. Your iterative predictive intelligence is a biological echo of that survival instinct. Ancient humans used repetitive storytelling as a safe simulation. Think of the tribal elder repeating the exact landmarks of a migration route, or the warning about which specific purple berries become toxic after the first frost. This wasn't just a story, it was data. By hearing these warnings night after night, the tribe's brain was programming itself for survival without the risk of an actual mistake. These repetitive seasonal warnings ensured that when the first frost actually hit, the tribe didn't have to think or experiment. They already had the outcome modeled in their minds, just as those ancient scouts needed the known route to lead the tribe safely through the dark. Your brain uses rewatching to cement your internal reality. When you rewatch a show, you are engaging in this same ancient ritual. You are creating a no-risk environment where your high-resolution mind can practice emotional regulation. You aren't stuck in the past. You are engaging in a process of habituation, allowing your sentinel mind to finally lower its guard and stop scanning for threats. A new unpredictable show requires constant surveillance. A rewatch offers total safety. The second pillar of your intelligence is the management of cognitive load. Think about the feeling you have after a long workday. You've made 1,000 micro-decisions, from which email to prioritize to what tone to use in a meeting. This leads to decision fatigue, a state where your ability to make even the simplest choice is completely drained. We see this in the grocery store effect. You stand in front of 30 different types of pasta sauce, and your brain suddenly feels paralyzed because the cognitive cost of evaluating every option is too high. Or consider the modern doom scroll on social media. In 5 minutes, you might see a tragic news story, a funny cat video, and a heated political argument. This constant emotional jumping is exhausting for a high-resolution mind because your brain tries to process the hidden intentions behind every post. For many deep thinkers, especially those with traumatic intelligence, those who were the black sheep or had to grow up too fast, the world already feels inherently unpredictable. You spent your early years scanning for silent signals of trouble, always trying to stay 5 steps ahead of an unstable environment. By the time you sit down at the end of the day, your cognitive cup is full. Your brain simply doesn't have the bandwidth to vet a new cast of characters or learn the rules of a new fictional universe. By rewatching, you provide a safety map where the perimeter is already secured, because you know exactly when the danger is coming in the plot. Your brain stops overclocking to predict what happens next. This paradoxically frees up your intelligence to notice deeper themes and micro-expressions that you missed the first 10 times. You are performing associative reconnaissance on a deeper layer of the same data, turning a simple show into a sophisticated training ground for your intuition. We live in a dopamine economy built on cliffhangers and spoiler culture. Modern media is designed to keep you in a state of constant low-level anxiety so that you will continue to consume. Most people are addicted to the novelty hit of a new plot twist. But the iterative predictive mind is different. In 1956, researchers Donald Horton and Richard Wohl coined the term parasocial relationships to describe the one-sided bonds we form with characters. For you, these characters aren't just entertainment, they are anchors. This bond is often strongest in sitcoms like The Office or long-running sci-fi series like Star Trek. In these genres, the character's living room or their spaceship becomes a second home. These environments provide a stable social frequency where the rules never change and the people are always there. Choosing the known over the new is an act of radical autonomy. By returning to these parasocial anchors, you are practicing elite emotional self-sufficiency. You are telling the world that you will not let an algorithm or a trending topic dictate your internal frequency. You are more interested in the root, truth of a character's journey than the cheap thrill of a surprise. This makes you impossible to manipulate because you value the stability of your own mind more than the excitement of social novelty. You are choosing a sanctuary over a suspense trap. So how do you take this comfort habit and turn it into a high-status strategic outcome? If you want to explode your potential, you must move from passive comfort to active iteration. The 25-second reset through sensory grounding. When the world is too loud and your anxiety is spiking, you don't need an hour of meditation. You need sensory grounding. Play a 60-second clip of your favorite, most known scene. Neurological. Why? Because your brain has a mood-congruent memory associated with that scene. The familiar dialogue and music act as a neural anchor. This instantly lowers your cortisol levels by signaling to the amygdala that the environment is safe. Practice reverse behavioral profiling. During your next rewatch, pick one minor character and watch only them. Ignore the main plot, watch their silent signals. Why did they react that way? Neurological. Why? This engages the prefrontal cortex, your brain's CEO, to perform analytical processing. This trains your sentinel mind to decode human nature in a safe environment, so that when you meet someone similar in real life, you already have the data to predict their moves. Use the safety mat for high-stakes focus. If you have a massive project that requires your full focus, don't try to listen to new music. Use your iterative predictive show as background noise. Neurological. Why? By putting on a show you know by heart, you reduce the background scanning your brain does for unexpected stimuli. This allows you superior neural efficiency to focus 100% on the work at hand. The narrative synthesis technique. Before you start your favorite episode, pick a problem you are currently facing in your real life. Watch the episode and look for how the characters handle conflict or solve problems, even if the context is totally different. Neurological. Why? This engages associative reconnaissance, a high-level trait of the polymath mind. It allows you to find a root cause truth by bridging the gap between fiction and your reality. The modern world is designed for low-resolution people who are easily distracted by the next shiny object. But if you have a high-resolution mind, you find that constant novelty exhausting. You see through the social mirror and realize that most new things are just old ideas with a new coat of paint. Your rewatching habit makes you society's biggest threat because you are immune to the manufactured hype cycle. Think about the last time everyone was talking about a specific new show or a sudden media crisis. The pressure to join that conversation is a form of social control. But as a rewatcher, you stay off the grid, while everyone else is being pulled into a state of collective anxiety over a new plot twist or a news headline. You are sitting in your sanctuary with a show from 2005. A concrete example of this is your resistance to narrative manipulation. When a new show uses cheap cliffhangers to force you to watch the next episode, you see the strings. You choose to walk away because you don't need the external dopamine hit. This makes you radically independent. Your rewatching is a form of defensive resilience. It is your neural filter that keeps the noise of the world from overwhelming your processor. You are the soldier who knows that if you never sleep, you will miss the enemy. Your rewatch is your sleep. It is the only time your brain isn't on the clock, trying to solve the world's problems. This is the rarest kind of strength, the ability to remain grounded while the rest of the world is being swept away by the next trend. Finally, we arrive at the sanctuary. At MindUnlockx, we recognize that your iterative, predictive loop isn't a flaw. It's your superpower. When you choose to rewatch, you are masterfully balancing habituation to lower your stress, the mere exposure effect to build your focus, and your parasocial anchors to protect your emotional peace. You possess elite emotional continuity. You are the sentinel at the campfire and the radical independent who chooses their own peace over society's demand for novelty. Your 50th rewatch isn't a sign that you're stuck. It's a sign that you are building a safety map so detailed that eventually the entire world will feel like a show you've already seen, leaving you as the only person in the room who truly knows how the story ends. If this analysis finally gave you the why behind your favorite habit, let me know in the comments. What is that one show you've seen 50 times? And if you're tired of surface-level advice and want to keep decoding the hidden psychology of your unique traits, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join our sanctuary here at MindUnlockx. Thank you for watching, and remember, the ending never changes, but the person watching it always does. Stay iterative.